Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we have the opportunity to do a problem diagnosis. We're not going to be able to fix this reel today. Not that I'm aware of. I think parts are required. But we're going to take a look at it. This is a Penn Conflict II. It's the 4000 series. It's got a horrible grind. And, well, this thing just goes up and down as it kind of sort of feels like. So we're going to try and figure out what's going on inside this reel. Probably have to order some replacement parts. And then complete that process. But what I wanted to do today is the problem diagnosis behind it. Because of that grind, something's just not working right in this reel. So let's start by taking off the exterior pieces and parts, and that involves the handle and the side plate and the spool. And when I do that, well, as I do that, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you like the art of fishing reel repair and service, if you like understanding how fishing reels are made, but sometimes like this reel, why it fails, and how to correct the issue, well, then this is a good channel for you. I try to teach you how to do it yourself and keep your reels working, or if they're broken, in this case, give them a second chance. So parts are still available for the reel. We're just going to try and figure out what's going on and why it is so rough. That normally involves just an examination of all of the internal pieces in the gear section and finding out what may or may not be the issue there. Process of elimination kind of thing. And that's what we'll do here. So there's 4 screws on the side plate here. I'm trying to take those out. When I remove my screws, I like to put them into a parts tray. All of the pieces and parts that I take off on this reel will go into a parts tray, and that helps me keep track of where those pieces and parts are. So when it comes time to reinstall, well, I will know exactly where to go to find the pieces. A lot of these pieces on the reels are small pieces, and if you leave them laying around on your table or desk, well, a lot of times they get simply knocked off and become lost, or at least missing for the moment. We've just removed the spool. You do that by removing the star adjuster or the drag adjuster. And underneath here you'll see we have a shaft with a ball bearing on it, a collar that holds the rotor nut. But when I was looking at this reel before, it appears that the side plate does not require you to remove the rotor to do that. So let's see if we can't get that off. Should just be able to slide this off here. Seems like something's a little stuck. We have a bump guard that came out there. That's a good thing to check. And now we'll be able to get a better look inside. So we have a lot of old grease and the like, and that probably tells me I should put on my protective glove. And while I'm doing that, I want to recommend to you that if you have a question on a particular issue or a reel, maybe you're working on one and you're stuck, maybe you can't quite figure it out, well, if you leave that question in the comment section, I do try to answer that. Well, as I'm looking here, we have a very heavy coat of old greases in that. You can see it's all kind of worn. We have a bearing on the main gear that for the most part seems to be kind of peened on, but we'll get that off. I'd say that this reel has had a lot of use. We're going to roll this down now. And we just shouldn't have this kind of accumulation of anything in there. You can see there's quite a bit of old grease and junk. And I'm wondering if there's some kind of magnetic piece that I have around here that I could find out a little bit more about that. Like, there's shavings in there. Well, I was looking for a tie-down screw here, and it looks like it may or may not be on this reel. This may be one. Yeah, we have a small screw. We're going to remove that crosswind block. That'll enable us to pull the axle shaft and then get a better look inside. So again, I think this is going to be a problem diagnosis, and that we're going to have to get the replacement parts in order to complete the servicing of this reel. We're going to hold the crosswind block now and pull out the axle shaft Again, anytime I see greases that look well past whatever it may have been, a blue grease or a white grease, that tells me that this one may have gone too far without servicing, and something may have just gotten caught up in it. I think we should be able to remove the main gear now. That'll come out. And just without even looking at this, I can see that there's scarring going on the main gear here. So that tells me that it's either the main gear or it's the pinion gear up here that is the issue. Well, let's just grab a cotton swab here. See if we can't mop up some of the older greases and the like. Look at that old grease. And as I said, if I had a magnet, I would probably find that there's metal pieces coming out of that. And then what we'll do is we're going to take a hard bristle brush and we're going to pull out of that. And that'll give us a better look at the teeth on that gear. I'm going to use a little bit of penetrating oil. You want to clean up as much of this as you can for your inspection. There's no question when we were turning the reel that there was a gear noise in there. And I'm beginning to think that that's probably the whole issue here, is that they've somehow shattered a main gear. Okay, so you want to look at a couple of things as you do this. You want to look at the orientation of the gear itself, and then you want to look at the points. And here's what's going on with this. You've got points that are coming outside of the gear housing now. So if you look on this side, kind of hard to see it, but we've got no points right here. Then we've got points that are pushed out. If you run your fingers across, you can probably cut your fingers on it. But I think this is the actual issue with the gear noises right here, where the profile of that gear is worn down significantly. And that'll cause that gear to wobble. And as it wobbles, that's the piece that's going to have the main issue there. Well, we know that the main gear is bad, so we want to continue with this now, because there's no sense ordering a main gear only to find out that, well, there's other pieces in there that main gear was compromising as it was grinding away. The obvious candidate would be the pinion gear, and I always recommend that if you have an issue with a main gear where it's scored, that you at a minimum change the pinion gear that goes along with that. I'm going to spin it. The bearing seems to be okay. This may have been what caused it. This rotor is very loose. You can see the side-to-side play on this. That should not be rocking like that. And if it rocks like that, it's going to send the reel out of balance. Sends the reel out of balance, it's going to start that wobble effect maybe on the main gears. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to bet that as we take this off, we can grab a wrench. This is going to be the wrong one. I need the 13, I think. Yeah, this, you can see here, I can turn this by hand. You shouldn't be able to do that. That should be tightened down fully. So a lot of times I'm asked on the servicing of a reel, how frequently should I do it? I recommend annually, and you would have caught something like that if you'd have done that annually. We just tightened down that nut. Now the rock is no longer in play. I wanted to do this, though, to inspect the bearing. I'm going to have to order a main gear. While I'm ordering the main gear, there's no sense not ordering the pinion gear. I just want to make sure that the bearing spins nice and easily. It does. And I also want to make sure that that anti-reverse clutch is working as we go through that. While we're here, we can turn. We're going to have to take all of this apart, but we won't do this now, knowing that we have to replace the gears. And here's probably what was happening there. There should not be play in this one. And you can see we are rocking around with this. I'm guessing that this one got loose as well. Well, there's probably a bearing or a bushing underneath here. something is causing the wear on this one. And it may have just been that the main gear just pushed it out. Now, the main gear will touch it. It'll also touch this secondary drive here. And that's kind of been put there to alleviate some of the issues with the movement on it. Okay, well, there's a bushing or a burring or something in here that appears to be worn. So we're going to order all 3 of these gears as the way to solve this issue. But again, this should not move, and if you're looking here, you're going to see the movement side to side. I know the screw is not there, but there's side to side movement that does not belong there, and is the cause. So what happened here? Well, we can see a couple of things. We can see that the reel itself has not been serviced in a while. That's led to either some kind of contamination getting in there that's caused that main gear to fracture, to lose the teeth, and it's transferred the issue probably to the pinion gear. We saw that the whole rotor set was loose, so that'll cause this to move, and well, the rocking and the rolling caused that main gear first to fail, has probably caused the pinion gear to fail, and there's no sense, again, for the extra $6 or $7, whatever the pinion gear is going to cost. There's no sense to leave that one alone. And we notice that there's a lot of movement in this oscillation gear as well. So this diagnosis is complete. The reel has failed because of inadequate maintenance. The reel can be repaired, and it can be repaired by replacing the parts, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to replace the 3 gears on that, and I just wanted to check the bearings and the like to make sure that the rest of that is in place. It is. And we'll come back, we'll put this one back together again after the parts have been ordered and received, and we'll get this one out there fishing again. We'll have a second chance. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it, and if you want to see more, again, please subscribe. And to our first responders and essential personnel, thank you for all it is that you do to keep us safe. To everybody, please stay safe, stay well, stay watching, and have a great time on the water. Use those fishing reels, get those lines wet. That's what they're meant to do. So enjoy your days as you fish with them, and enjoy your hobby of repairing them when you need to do so. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.